Well, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever you are, wherever you are, whenever it is for you. For me, it is just past midnight on Friday, the 21st of March. So I hope everybody had a good vernal equinox, a day of balance, right? Equal parts day and night. Hey, Eli. Hey, Daryl Roberts. How you doing? Hey, Chef Deb. Hey, Joe. What do you know? Hey, Annalata. Hey, Donald. Memphis, Tennessee. I went walking there once. Hey, Nicola. So, guys, today was the vernal equinox. I hope everybody has managed to find some balance in this swiftly tilting planet that every day is more and more on fire. I need a vacation. I really do need a vacation. Big thanks to Arn, who is the sponsor of tonight's live. Thank you, Daryl. Did you guys like that? Did you guys like hearing from Dragon and talking to him a little bit? I'll tell you, that guy has done so much for me since I've been in this town. Hey, Chris Carter. That's good to hear, Eli. Hey, Bjorn. You know, without Dragon, I would not have had that whole Donbass experience, which really changed my understanding of the conditions on the front line, what the guys go through, what the morale is like. I mean, I learned so much in those 3 days. Can I just tell you guys, those 3 days with those guys going out to the Donbass, there was one point we spent 7 hours on something that the Ukrainians laughingly call a road. Just this pitted dirt track that wound through the hills and the forests for fucking 7 hours to get to a house out in the middle of nowhere, no lights anywhere. I don't even know if there was electricity out there. And to resupply these guys out in the middle of nowhere. Hey, Birkenhair. Hey, Fitz. And these guys, you know, they're in a location that's, if it's found out, they're going to be hit, right? So nobody's upstairs. They're all down in the basement. And that's where they were living and working and doing everything that they were doing on behalf of the Ukrainian armed forces. The challenges that, you know, those were 3 of the most grueling days of my life. They were difficult for me. And the guys I was with, Dragon and his compatriots, they were laughing at me the whole time because for them it was like a vacation. Because with me along, they couldn't get within artillery range. They couldn't go anywhere where the Russians are actively hunting people with drones, right? We had to stay back a little ways. So they had, for them it was like a vacation. For me, it was like a nightmare. And it really gave me a lot of respect. I mean, I always respected these guys, but seeing what they do, how they do it, and what they go through to do it it's impressive. It's really impressive. Hey, Steve B. And that's why it is so hurtful to me. It is so maddeningly frustrating when Captain Bone Spurs, draft dodging, rich boy, son of a bitch, 300 pounds of dog shit in a cheap suit, has the nerve to attack the man who said, I don't need a ride, I need ammunition, and has been in that uniform for 3 years, doing everything on the ground that he could do. I mean, it's outrageous. Hey, Jeff. Please and thank you. Yeah, I'll try not to be so demure. I'll try not to hold back so much and suppress my feelings. Hey, Michael. Hey, G2. Thanks, Jack. So, guys, last night was a tough night here in Ukraine, boy. The Russians sent 171 drones at the territory of Ukraine. along with some missiles. The missiles did some real damage. So did the drones. You know, the Ukrainian armed forces do such a great job taking those drones out that we tend to forget just what an extraordinary rate of interception we enjoy every night. I mean, every night it's like 90, 92, 93, 94% interception rates. So then last night we saw an 80.7 interception rate. The Ukrainians only managed to take out 138 of 171 drones. And the thing is, that's an extraordinary interception rate. I mean, that's an Israeli Iron Dome kind of interception rate. But we are so accustomed to the Ukrainians doing such a miraculous job that when 20% of the drone, not even 20%, right, 19.3%, when 19.3% of the drones get through, it hurts. And we saw a town out in the east just really devastated by drone fire last night. For their part, the Ukrainians did not hold back, and they sent the largest single drone strike of the war against Engels Air Force Base. Now, here's the thing that we're finding out now about the attack on Engels. Sorry. About the attack on Engels. Apparently, 2 days ago, the day before the attack, an Ilyushin 76, those are those enormous cargo planes, right? Like an American C-130, the kind of plane you can drive a bunch of tanks onto, and then the plane will take the tanks where they need to go. Well, it appears as though the day before the attack, an IL-76 loaded with KH-101 missiles landed at Engels and unloaded its cargo of missiles. So that means, what that means is that the storage warehouse there where they keep the missiles was fucking full. And that explains why when they hit it and it went up, houses 5 kilometers away, 3 miles away from the base, had their roofs ripped off. That's not even an exaggeration. There's video out on the internet. I found it, right? This great video of just this metal roof being ripped right off from the shockwave from the explosion. Well, the secondary explosions. And I saw it, and then usually I download those things and I include them in the news we are waking up to. And then I couldn't find the damn thing again. So it's out there somewhere. It was an extraordinary mushroom cloud, Eli, wasn't it? And secondary cook-off. It was extraordinary. It did, Bobby. It was very reminiscent of a nuclear kind of device. Right? Yeah, I know. I did it again tonight. I spent an hour looking for a video that I know exists, and I could not find it. That was in Saratov, Russia. That was in Saratov, Russia, at Engels Air Force Base. Hey, Kath Brown. We do not, freedom doesn't last. We do not know. Now, there were, among the civilian population in the area, there were some reports of injuries. Apparently, all the windows at a local hospital on one side of the building were blown right out. And a patient at the hospital was injured by the flying glass. There were other injuries reported around Saratov, but we did not get any official casualty numbers from Engels itself. Evening, Sam. Hey, Darlene. So it's a good hit. It's it's a palpable hit on the Russians. Is it game changing? Is it going to win the war? No, no. But it says to the Russians, look, we know what you're doing, right? And that's the point. I'm sorry. That's the point that I'm trying to make with this. That IL-76 dropped off all those missiles the day before. How do we know that? How did the Ukrainians know that in order to hit it at this time when the warehouse was full? And I had speculated in a video today that it was U.S. intelligence. And a number of people pointed out to me in the comments that the French are now sharing intelligence with Ukraine. And I was like, hey, that's a good point. Maybe it was French intelligence. Then somebody else pointed out, the GRU have lots of operatives. I'm sorry, the GUR. The GRU is a Russian spy agency. The GUR is Ukraine's military intelligence directorate. And somebody pointed out that the Ukrainians have lots of human intelligence sources inside of Russia. Could it have been a GUR source? It could have been. I mean, all this kind of spy shit, who knows what really happened? But it does appear as though the Ukrainians knew the missiles had just been delivered and hit the place when the warehouse was full. And the message that sends to the Russians is, we know what you're doing. We can see what you're doing. We know where everything is, and we can hit it. Right? Just like that big drone attack on Moscow right before the talks started in Jeddah. U.S. intel is on again, Bobby. All information sharing is supposed to be happening. Now, Herb says Eutelsat is ready to replace Starlink. It may be true, Herb, right? Like, I don't know that for sure. But, there they go. Can you hear it? Probably not. It's chilly. I have all the windows and doors closed. But the air raid sirens are sounding here in Kyiv right now. So, Herb, I hope you're right. I hope the Eutelsat is ready to replace Starlink. Hell, I hope it already has. Because Elon Musk is not to be trusted. That a-hole in a K-hole. What a piece of shit that guy is. So intelligence sharing is back on. Can you use Skylink equipment? I have no idea, Roy. I don't know anything about Eutelsat, and I would tend to doubt that the proprietary hardware that Musk makes could readily be transitioned to something else, but I don't know that to be true. Yeah, a felon is just he's just a scapegoat. He's Trump's hatchet man. Trump is going to use him to dismantle the government, and then he's going to blame him for everything and throw him under the bus. I mean, that's almost certainly what's going to happen. Yeah, Herb, I've seen those reports. They're very disturbing. Herb is saying that there have been apocryphal stories, right? So hearsay that when the Ukrainians turn on Starlink, the Russians hit them with artillery. Now that could be a coincidence, right? If you're at the front fucking line, your odds of being hit with artillery are pretty high, right? So it could be coincidence. It could be culpability on the part of Musk. It could be. You're still okay with Musk for the guillotine. Well, that's because you're a person of style and grace. That's because you're a person of style and grace. Oh, Nightshade, that just killed me today. So Trump fails to extort from Ukraine its mineral wealth. because everything for him is just another grift, another reason to line his own pockets. So he fails to extort Ukraine's mineral wealth. So what has he got his eye on now? Well, what else could I take out of here? Right? Like the gangster piece of shit he is. He tried to get his hands on the nuclear power plants. He's like, give us hey, you got a nice country here. I don't want to fuck it up, right? You don't want anything to happen to it. You know what you ought to do? You need our protection. Why don't you give me your nuclear power plants and you can pay me for the electricity I will generate from the plants that you built, and then we'll call it even. What do you say? Maybe throw in some uranium, too, and some neodymium. I could use a little of that praseodymium as well. So just when you thought that the scum-sucking pig couldn't fall any lower, he tries to extort from Ukraine their power plants when 80% of the electricity generating capacity in this country has been destroyed by his buddy Putin. It's obscene. So Nicola says she loved Zelensky's response. Now, Nicola, I'm going to try to paraphrase as best I can what Zelensky said to Trump on this subject. But I believe that it equated to something like, fuck off. Fuck right off. Fuck off completely. Fuck the fuck off, motherfucker. Now, that's not a direct quote. I want to point that out. I'm just paraphrasing. We will do wonderful things with it. Honest to God, Lil Red. Honest to God. No, the mineral deal was never signed. The Ukrainians managed, I mean, really, why would they? After that ambush at the White House, that nonsense. Hey, Nana Pam. I'm glad you liked my putting on the Ritz today. That was a lot of fun to do, I got to tell you. Did it come out your nose, Nightshade? I hope it came out your nose. It's good to laugh, isn't it? You got to laugh, man. You got to laugh. I'm telling you, I am so easily angered by the injustice that my government is committing in the world, that we gotta figure out a way to laugh about it, or, you know, laughter is the best medicine. Laughter is the best medicine. Okay, what else is going on? What else is going on? Who's got questions? Because I'll tell you, I've had a long and busy week, and I am not as prepared for tonight as I should be. Hey, Lil Red, it's either laugh or cry. Evening, Thomas. How you doing? Why, thank you, Mr. Daniels. I sure do appreciate it. It really was a lot of fun. Well, the good news, Bobby, is that... Donald Trump is only about 4 cheeseburgers away from a massive heart attack, right? We can hope, right? Here's to hardening of the arteries. Here's to 100% blockage in 2 valves. Do you know if any planes were wiped out by the attack on Engels? I do not. Now, we do believe, it's been reported that according to recent satellite images, there were 3 T-160s and T-95s. Now, I don't know if that means 3 of each. The reporting on this has been very sparse and very unclear. I don't know if that means there were 6 planes there, 3 of each, or if there were 2 of one and 1 of the other. It was not clear to me at all. From the only source that I trust on that. And I did not see any published satellite photos, so I cannot say. So there were at least 3 heavy bombers on site at the time, maybe as many as 6. Given the size and scope of the explosion, and that the Russians claim to have shot down 54 drones in the area, It seems impossible that some of those planes weren't damaged, doesn't it? It seems impossible. Trump is trying to blackmail Australia on our medication. Ugh. I mean, it's not bad enough that he ruined it for Americans. He's trying to ruin it for Australians. Oh, God, I hate that man. So now, the Russians clearly have not and did not encircle the Ukrainians in Kursk. And the Ukrainians, for their part, have gone into Belgorod now. 2 nights ago, I couldn't tell you for sure whether or not there was something really going on there or not. Then earlier today, we had confirmation from Zelensky that there is an ongoing operation in Belgorod. And now we're getting word on details, at least from the Russian mill blogger community, that the Ukrainians have pushed past the Dragon's Teeth fortifications around Demidovka, a settlement about 17 miles southeast of Sudza. And there is heavy fighting in the city. Well, it's said that the town itself is destroyed. It's also said that the Ukrainians blew the bridge so that the Russians couldn't get reinforcements or supplies in. So, contrary to what the Russians said yesterday, that all Ukrainian attack had been repelled, Ukraine out of Russia, that appears to be bullshit, just like it was when the Ukrainians went into Kursk and they told us that, all of the Ukrainians were unalived, the attacks were repelled, yada, yada, yada. Now, Burke and Hare, we all hope for success in Belgorod and Kursk, right? And some of the analysts that I listen to are saying, look, if they go in force into Belgorod, they are only 17 miles from Sudza, where the Russians just kicked them out of, and where there's a forced concentration of Russians and North Koreans. It's only 17 miles from where they're going in now. There's a hard top road that goes right that way. Is it possible? And I do not know. I am not, let's be very clear. This is pure speculation from analysts, military guys that I listen to, who say, well, look, if you have enough guys, what you could do is you could just go around back behind Sudza and encircle all the Russians and North Koreans. Now, we don't know if that's what's happening. We don't know if this is a diversion. We don't know if it's a feint. We don't know what this operation is. But could it be an attempt to encircle the Russians in Sudza that just kicked the Ukrainians out? It's got all the makings of it if they've got enough guys in armor. So keep your fingers crossed. Whatever Trump and Putin scheme together, they will fail. Dear God, I hope so. From your lips to God's ear, Nana Pam. My friend who just got a new leg in Odessa is scared because 2 hospitals have just been hit. That is true. That is a fair point. Need to ask Naomi. Okay, that's a sidebar. They could counter-encircle, freeing or creating new supply route to Sudza. Yes, exactly, common sense, they could. Thomas, if that turns out to be the operation, and if the Ukrainians pull it off, I mean, I stand around with my jaw on the ground all day anyway. What'd they do? Holy shit, how'd they do that? Right? Like, it's just a constant, right? Like, all my furniture is covered in drool. So that would be, like, unbelievable. I hear Turkey want to be part of the coalition of the willing. That would be unsurprising to me. Erdogan and Zelensky seem to get along. And Zelensky was critically important in the takedown of Bashar al-Assad in Syria, which creates for Turkey a far better security situation. Hey, Rosie, long time no see. Oh, Jason says, watch Belgorod, things are happening. Well, that's good to know. Hey, Chris, you're talking like you know me. Do I know you? I can't see your little icon. They have a very good army, not a bad, okay. No, you cannot trust Russia, but it's important to note you cannot trust the administration in the United States. I haven't been anywhere, Rosie. Where you been? Oh my gosh, I'm dying of thirst tonight. I don't know what's wrong with me. I know what it is. It's been warm and the heat is still on. You know, we have no control over our own heat. In these post-Soviet towns, there's a central heating system and it heats everything, right? All of the apartment blocks around here. There's no thermostats in here. There's no way to control it. And it was about 60 degrees. What is that? About, I guess, maybe 14 Celsius, something like that. Putin broke the ceasefire less than an hour after he agreed to it, yes. I don't believe anybody is sending eggs to the orange turd. No, nobody is sending eggs to the orange turd. Hey, Mike. Kyiv has power, Putin has failed. Well, Putin is in the process of failing. That's for sure. Plants that sit in water. Yes, yes. That's what I need in here. You know, I've been really reluctant to get plants or get a pet because the future is so uncertain. And I do not want to be in a situation where, let's say, God forbid, I suddenly had to leave Kyiv because the security situation deteriorated. That's the only reason I can see leaving. If that were to happen and I couldn't bring the dog or the cat or the plants with me, I wouldn't be happy with myself. I have one plant in the house. It's a jewel plant. It was here when I moved in, just a tiny little starter guide, 2 inches tall. And now it's about 14 inches maybe. And it's very healthy. You're right, Eli. It is. You're right. I should get over it. I should get some more plants, shouldn't I? I should dress up the apartment a little bit. It is pretty sparse in here. I tell people that it's very zen. Zen minimalist. Why is Trump so against Zelensky in Ukraine? Because he's a creature of the Kremlin. He's bought and paid for and sold to Vladimir Putin. He is absolutely in service to Vladimir Putin. Where are you at, Baggin? Are you in Germany or Poland or someplace? Well, Nana Pam, when you don't speak the same language as your neighbors, it is tough. Zelensky has much higher ratings. I mean, Trump is responsible for Zelensky's higher ratings, right? I make no mistake, the Ukrainians, it's a real democracy here. Everybody hates the president. Oh, you back in Brazil, brother? Well, good. I mean, that's good, right? Hey, Jedi. Boy, what I wouldn't give for a week in Brazil. Esse amor compaixão, ai que coisa. What I would not give for a week in Brazil. 8 days a week, baby. I'm with you. Hey, or Bobby, I could use a week in San Diego. Yes, I could. God, what I wouldn't give for a week in San Diego. I could finally get the rest of my clothes out of your house, too. Okay, let's see. What else is going on? Let's look at the notes here. So we do not know what is really going on in Belgorod, but something is going on. Hey, Jacob Grady, we're also concerned. Thank you, Smokey. What about coming to Norway? Well, gosh, Frank, I mean, if I wanted to go to Norway, I would probably hit up my buddy Lars. I assume Lars is here tonight. I would hit up my buddy Lars and, see if I could sleep on his mother's sofa or something. But honestly, I wouldn't mind going someplace where the sun is shining and there's someplace to swim, maybe. Van, get back in your mosquito net. So anyway, you have 3 guest rooms. Well, hell, Lars, I am going to hit you up. Not this summer, but when things have calmed down here, I am coming to Norway, pal. And I know you don't eat fish, but I wouldn't mind doing a little fishing. 85 in Daytona Beach, baby. Nice. Yes, it is, Samso. I mean, I don't know. Thanks, Frank. I don't know if you follow me on Blue Sky, but I've been saying all week that Friday was the target to hit 900,000. And it looks like it's going to happen today. W42, I have no idea when Russian Federation will collapse. I do believe it's inevitable. Yeah, and I want to see those fjords. No two ways about it. Devin, it was about 60 degrees Celsius today. What's that? About 14 it was 60 degrees Fahrenheit, about 14 Celsius, I want to say. I think that's right. 80s in the Phoenix. Life in the desert. Now, see, Michael, if I can't go to the shore, I want to go to the desert. I want to go someplace where it's dry and hot. There's a lot of chatter that Russia's in bad shape June. Yes, absolutely. I hear Norway is gorgeous. I like Minnesota. I do. I like Minnesota a lot. Minnesota is great country. 80s in North Carolina at the beach. Boy, I'll tell you, there's one time we were flying into Hilton Head. I thought I was going to die. It was like the remnants of a hurricane, and they had just restarted the flights. And coming into Hilton Head, holy shit, I thought the plane was going to get flipped right over. Any updates on mass graves on the Russian side? No, George, I haven't seen any new video about that at all. But they are being dug in the far east of Ukraine. Devon, Michigan. Why can't I think of it? You know what I mean. You know the island? S Island? Oh, no, not Saginaw. Mackinac. Thank you, Devin. Mackinac Island on the eastern shore, there is great fossil hunting. From 400 million years ago, the age of the shallow seas. You can find bivalves and ammonites and trilobites and all kinds of really interesting stuff there. My son and I were out there a couple times fossil hunting. It's fabulous. It's really fabulous. It's great. It's a great way to spend a week with the kids. I don't know who Eddie Itu is. I don't know who that is, Rose. Now, in Sumy, the governor of the oblast is concerned that the Russians are going to pour over the border. There's a big, and see, that might be what Belgorod is all about. It might be that they're going into Belgorod to try to pin the Russian troops inside of Russia. Because right now in Belgorod, the governor has 64,000 cars ready to evacuate the oblast should the Russians come pouring over the border. And that is of concern. Oh, Bobby, you still have some of the fossils from Arizona, do you? Nice. I love that rainbow petrified wood. That rainbow petrified wood is beautiful. You fossil hunt just looking into the mirror. More and more every day, Michael. More and more every day, pal. I don't have a favorite state. I love America. I have spent time, right? Like, I don't mean I just drove through. If I just drove through, I don't count it. I have spent time in 47 of 50 states. And for fossil hunting, one of the states I've never been to, but that I really want to go. As I understand it, 3 hours south of Salt Lake City, Utah, there is an open pit quarry where for $25 a day, you can dig all of the invertebrate fossils that you want. And again, it's ammonites, trilobites, bivalves, right? Sea urchins and clams, devil's toenails, the ancient oysters, that sort of thing. And so for $25 a day, you get a bucket and a pail and you can just go to town. And I really want to do that. $45 of 50 for Walter Williamson. Michael, that was funny. That really caught me off guard. That was really funny, pal. Now, Jacob, that's interesting that you say that about the arrowheads, because I only ever found arrowheads once. Never. Now, my son did find a couple of arrowheads in Arizona, along with some Pleistocene epic buffalo teeth, horse teeth, things of that nature. But the only time and the only place I ever found authentic, to the best of my knowledge, authentic arrowheads was on my property, out by the ruins of a like Civil War era cabin. There were the ruins of a Civil War era cabin on my property, and we were out there digging up the foundations of it one time, and we found a bunch of like Civil War era coins, musket kind of balls, or black powder balls anyway, and what else? The arrowheads. And, I don't know if the people there discovered the arrowheads and put them in their own collection, which is why we found them near the house. I don't have any idea how old they were or anything. That's the only time I've ever found arrowheads. Now, in North Carolina, there's a river where you can find shark's teeth. The place is just full of fossilized shark's teeth. Again, from that Silurian era, the age of the shallow seas. I used to find fossilized worms and shells in the Ventura, California foothills. Nice. We used to find arrowheads nonstop in Michigan. A gold medallion. Wow, good job. Nice. Now, see, in Pennsylvania, the fossil record is very different. If we go to the shale beds or the column dumps where they dump the leavings from the coal mines, that's all Carboniferous period. So that's the emergence of life on land. So it's all grasses, leaves, ferns, occasionally a fish or kind of fish-like impressions. Those are all about 300 million years old. Oh, I bet in Minnesota there are, Leo. Hey, Leo. Oh, now, Brian, I bet you're right about that on the Susquehanna. I never lived on the Susquehanna, nor spent much time there. We tubed on it once. I tubed on the Susquehanna once. That's it. How did we get on the subject of fossils? Isn't this show supposed to be about Ukraine? I'll tell you why, because I'm exhausted. That's why. Guys, they closed with the closure of USAID funding. The major cultural exchange spot here for USAID in Kyiv, America House Kyiv, closed. And America House Kyiv provided a lot of cross-cultural experiences for the Ukrainians and for Americans living here amongst the Ukrainians. So English-speaking clubs, American movie nights, art exhibits, English lending library, etc., right? Along with career and business support too. Now, I can't float loans to Ukrainian entrepreneurs, but I can host an English-speaking club. I can rent a movie theater and put on some American movies. I can get my hands on some English language books and start a little lending library. And on top of the other stuff that I do here, I've been working on all of that. It is really my mission to recreate for the Kyivans the services that our government has traditionally provided, but has taken away at this time. And so literally every night this week, I've been out at one meeting or another prior to the live. And it is extraordinarily satisfying, I have to tell you. But after 2 years of going nonstop here in Ukraine, I could use a break. I really do think I'm going to need to take a vacation pretty soon. Sure, Satra. By the way, I love the artwork in your avatar. I don't know what that is, but it is pretty to look at, that's for sure. Nicola, are you talking about the Russian soldiers who were digging trenches and they found those Greek amphoras and some coinage and some other artifacts? That was quite a find. That find is estimated to be 2,300 years old. So for anybody who says that Ukraine doesn't have its own history, you're just ignorant. Like, you just have no clue. The Greeks were here. I mean, legend has it that Achilles, the great hero of the Trojan War, was buried on Snake Island, right? Snake Island, where the Ukrainians told the Moscow to fuck off. Right, Fitz? Every place has a history. Ukraine wildly predates Moscow. You know, the youngest son of a Kievan ruler, a ruler of Kievan Rus, who was disinherited, fled to Moscow, where he founded the city of Moscow. Very uneducated. For anybody who is interested, the best course that I'm aware of that's available for free online is Timothy Snyder's Making of Modern Ukraine on YouTube. And it is a 23-part, they're 90-minute sessions, 23 parts. And it takes us all the way back from the ancient Kievan Rus, the roots of Kievan Rus, all the way through the modern age. It's really worth watching for anybody that's seriously interested. They erased Colin Powell. I mean, Colin Powell is an American hero. Colin Powell was the sane and steady rudder of the Bush administration. Oh my God. Oh my God. You know, we're living in an age where there's a guy in Georgia who bought a plantation, right? Like, he bought this plantation and then he starts researching it. And it turns out that he is a direct descendant of the white slave owners that owned the plantation and the slaves that worked it. Now, when you're living in a world where your history is that complicated, you have to be able to synthesize it. We have to be able to make sense of our own history. And to deny such important parts of it and the people who played such important roles is obscene. It's obscene. I know they erased the wind talkers, the Navajo wind talkers who were so essential for encrypted communications before we had encryption algorithms. I don't get it. I don't get it. How is this America? Don't even say that about Jackie Robinson. Come on. I mean, everything Trump does is right out of Putin and Orban's playbook, because that's where he got his marching orders from. We got to stop pretending like this is normal in any way, or that it's just a different political perspective. It's not. It's the undermining of our entire political democracy. Reprehensible is a good word, Maddie. It is. It's unbelievable, Dan. It's unbelievable. Wow, our hour is rapidly coming to a close. Holy shit. Okay. So I want to thank Nightshade, who has the Peter's Peeps group on the Book of Faces, Lars, who has the Discord server, the moderator team, best moderators on the Tickety Talk, and team, best moderators on the Tickety Talk, and of course, Arn, who is the sponsor of tonight's live. So thank you all. Final thoughts, final questions. Questions, comments, points of observation. Anything from anybody? Good night, Bobby. Peace out, Mike. Good night, Debbie. Good night, Bernard. Thank you, Nicola. Thanks, Jacob. Hey. Hey, Arn, there's our sponsor. Everybody say thanks to Arn. You know, without the support of Arn and the other Patreon folks, I couldn't do any of this. So if you're not yet a Patreon subscriber and you can afford to throw me $5 or $10 a month, please join the Patreon. These guys make all the difference in the world for me. If you want to sponsor a live, the PayPal is in the description. If you want to see me go on vacation, PayPal is in the description. I have to go on vacation. I'm going to have to plan a vacation pretty soon. I could really use it. Obviously, Mel, nobody should feel, what's the word I'm looking for? Look, I don't want money from anybody that doesn't have money. There are plenty of people who listen to this show that have money, right? I'll talk to them. Nobody obligated, Ron. Thank you, Ron, very much. I don't know. I'm adjacent to Europe, Asia, and Africa, and it's not hard to get places from here that are cheap, where there is no internet access. Wherever I'm going to go, it's going to be someplace where I am forced to not respond to any of you. That's where I'm going to go. I don't know, Mel. That would be nice, but probably a little outside my budget. Hey, Jay. How you doing, buddy? We're just talking, Jay. I think I might have mentioned this to you when you were here. Thanks again for lunch, by the way. It was really a pleasure to meet you, sit across the table from you, and be able to talk. I doubt very much that I could afford a plane ticket to the U.S. Fitz. Right. There's a lot of cheap trains. I can get pretty much anywhere in Europe on a train for very little money. So I'm kind of leaning that way. But it's hard to find places in Europe where there's no internet access. And I need to unplug. I need to go someplace for a few days where the world goes away. Look, when I get back, it'll still be on fire. I'm pretty sure of that, you know. So anyway, and I want it to be warm. Otherwise, Arn, I would take you up on your generous offer. But I want it to be warm and dry. I think Greece is going to be outside my budget, Roy. Maybe Albania, maybe something on the Adriatic like that. Croatia. Yeah, right, Maddie. I don't know anything about Cyprus, Nicola. Except it's got a really, right, it's like divided between the Greeks and the Turks. And there's like been some bad blood there and some blood spilled, if I'm not mistaken. That's Cyprus. I don't know. I think the Mediterranean is probably outside my budget, but maybe the Eastern Adriatic wouldn't be. Do they really? They speak English in Cyprus, even though it's Greek and Turkish. Interesting. Yeah, Jay, that's what I thought too. Right, like I don't see myself. I'm not going to Club Med. It's a money laundering haven. Well, if I had any money to launder, I would know that maybe. Right now, Lowe says Lake Ohrid between North Macedonia and Albania. That sounds like it's in my budget. That sounds like maybe that could be in my budget. What exploded at Engels was, as far as we know, a warehouse full of KH-101 missiles. The very missiles that the Russians send every night to pound Ukraine. And boy, did they explode. I'm not comfortable going to Egypt right now. Although I do know some people in Egypt. They could probably advise me. And Egypt is probably pretty cheap. I just don't know how expensive it is to get there. Does Ryanair fly to Egypt? I don't know. All right, well, anyway, enough of this daydreaming and fossil hunting. Oh, wouldn't that be nice to go someplace you could hunt for fossils? That would be nice. I wonder where that is. Good night, Simon. Good night, everybody. I'm going to go to bed. I got to get to bed. I'm obviously rambling now. Jurassic Park. In Dnipro, the city, or along the shore of the river, Jay? Weymouth, England. That's where all those wonderful shale nodules can be found, right? That's a place I want to go. Good night, Ireland. Do they call it the Jurassic Coast, really? Interesting. I am an American, yes. What gave it away? Do you know the people, I swear to God, I think it's only happened twice that people on the street, when they come up to me to talk to me like complete strangers, they immediately speak in English. Nobody ever tries to speak Ukrainian to me. Yeah, see, Sean, I'm kind of looking to avoid that, I got to tell you. Because if I go someplace where there's any internet access, I'm going to be online. I'm going to be online. I'm going to be talking to all of you. I'm going to be commenting on your videos. I'm going to be responding to your comments on mine. I'm going to be making video. I gotta unplug. I arrived in this country February 24th of 2023. That is 2 years, 2 months. I'm sorry, 2 years, 1 month, just about 1 month. 2 years, 1 month. And except for leaving town to get my visa, I have not stopped. I really have not stopped. And I think I need to stop for a week or something. I need a break. Okay. Good night, everybody.